All right, so this Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion thing, this story, the last 24 hours have been nuts. Okay, so yesterday, everyone, the internet found out that Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times while in prison, and thankfully he's in stable condition. He's alive and well. Considering I think both his lungs collapsed, they were able to get him back stable. I saw comments from women across the internet that, you know, people have taken sides. Was it Tory? Was it Megan? You know, there's a lot of you know, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with Megan, right? He got stabbed in prison, so what? They ain't got nothing to do with Megan. You've got a lot of comments like that. You've got people saying, you know, just all kind of things, right? It's just pick a side and you're against the other team, right? Well, today we find out that the security guard that was present the day of the shooting, he's come out and said that, well, Tory didn't do it. Tory did not do it. Now, my thing is, why did he wait this long? And I think it has to do with him hearing the news that Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times and just feeling the guilt. Okay, but let's check out this news story here from Fox, and let's see if we can get some details locked in here. Okay.
All right, welcome back in here to Live and Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Let's turn our attention to new developments involving Tory Lanez after a stabbing at a California prison. We do know the alleged attacker. More information here. This courtesy of TMZ, saying the guy who allegedly attacked and stabbed Tory Lanez in prison is serving a life sentence for a murder charge, and this wasn't his first violent incident behind bars. The alleged attacker was identified by authorities as 42-year-old Santino Casio. Prison officials say he's serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and was previously convicted for an in-prison assault with a deadly weapon. So we're following the latest here on Live Now from Fox, and we're also learning more information about new evidence being brought forward in this case involving Tory Lanez. And we watched it here on Wednesday as the legal team sought justice in the case of Tory Lanez. They presented new evidence that suggests he never fired the weapon the night Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the Hollywood Hills. Lanez is currently serving a 10-year sentence for the shooting. The legal team alleges she lied about what happened the night she was lost. So let's take you right now out to some of these details here on Live Now from Fox from Los Angeles earlier on today about this new evidence being presented. We'll see if it has any legs in the courts. Let's listen into this here on Live Now.
Here, some really, really compelling new evidence that you've never heard before. Our legal team will explain all of that to you. We will have updates on Tory Lanez, Mr. Peterson, on how he's doing. It's really sad to see the situation that he's in, and we think it's time. Enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home. So with that, I would like to bring up our lead consultant, Mr. Walter Roberts.
Good morning. We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf. The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out, but given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover. Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James.
Okay, now pay attention to this part right here, because this is the part that I was looking for. I actually saw this part on a snippet from Instagram, where this brother is explaining all this. So pay attention to this part, because it's funny. It's ironic because, well, not ironic, but my brother is or was a Tory Lanez fan, but we've been going back and forth on this subject matter. What did he, what's the evidence show? What does it not show? And so some people have given up on Tory, and it's understandable that some people have, because it's what the media showed us. But my thing is this: I guess I'm a little bit esoteric. I was looking at the fact that the father was saying, hey, my son is innocent. Tory's father standing outside of court saying my son is innocent. Tory himself is saying he's innocent. Whenever you have people, I guess the father standing outside saying this as well, it makes me question, like, wait a minute, why would the father also be saying this? Is he just saying this because it's his son, he doesn't want him to get locked up? If you're standing on business like that, why not ask him, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that he's innocent? Nobody was trying to follow up with any of those questions with these people. They just want to kind of open and shut the case up. And I have barbershop discussions on these too, and some of the guys at the barbershop were also chiming in with a lot of things that they saw. There were loopholes in the whole way that this whole entire case was handled, and it just did not make any sense, did not add up. So my belief was always that something, where there's smoke, there's fire, but I'm not, I know my brother's gonna see this, so I'm not gonna rag on him too hard for feeling that way, but it's looking like Megan gonna have to answer to this, because this is crazy. But listen to this part right here, guys.
Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. The passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson. Even though...
And listen, the things he's listing are exactly the points that the people in the barbershop were making the other day when we were having this conversation. So keep listening.
Unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that. Anybody who's there, the DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Miss Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate? Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice.
All right. I just wanted you guys to see that much. But since this news has come out, you can only imagine what's been going on with Megan's page, right? So let's go over there and take a look, because you can always kind of get a feel for, you know, what is and hopefully this doesn't get my page my YouTube hit with some sort of ban. But Hot Girl Swim by Megan Thee Stallion. First comment here is lock her line up. You know, next one is y'all see how she posted, not to acknowledge, but to profit from the moment. Another comment is, I'm just waiting for the comments to be turned off. It's about to get evil up in here. These bathing suits. Just waiting on them tables. Lock you up immediately. Meanwhile, my girl just getting richer. So a lot of, and what's crazy is yesterday when we found out Tory was stabbed 14 times, there were a lot of women and some men that were saying, you know, hey, that has nothing to do with Megan. Why are you even bringing Megan into this? He went to prison. Those are the type of things that happen in prison. I think they're crickets today, 24 hours later. So it's going to be real interesting seeing where and how this case unfolds. I don't know. It's not looking too good. They're saying that the story lines up with the other data points. So is Megan gonna have to? Are they gonna clink Megan? Is this gonna backfire on her? Why did it go down like this? Like, that's my question. Why did this happen? How could this have been handled in a better way? You know, why? Tory was smashing her and the friend, but it still doesn't make. I need those details filled in for me, right? The parts outside the shooting. I'm not understanding. I'm missing something. Apparently, I'm missing something. It still doesn't. I mean, it makes sense, the story, that the bodyguard is saying, but the part that I'm confused on is, number one, why did the bodyguard wait until now? You know, like I said, I feel that he only came out now after the stabbing because it just, you know, he could be the reason that Tory could get free. He waited this long. Like, who? Why? If you didn't sign an NDA, which they said he didn't, why didn't you just say, oh no, that's not what happened, this is what happened? So that part, I don't know. Is he I'm not saying he's not telling the truth. I'm saying, did someone pay him not to say something? Even though he didn't sign an NDA, you know, was he bribed to keep his mouth closed? I don't know. It just seems really suspicious, even with that still. So I'm glad that the truth is coming out. If this has to be proven that this is the truth, of course, but this indeed may be what Tory and his father were saying. And then just the timing of this. There's a lot of things that's simultaneously going on. I'm not saying these two things are connected. By no means am I saying they are, but you got the Diddy case, you got some stuff in Hollywood going on. You got, like, all these things are happening, like, right now in the last 60 days. And then this happens. He also just dropped the album. I honestly haven't listened to the album, but I need to go back now and listen. Did he say something in the album that ticked somebody off? They're saying that, you know, they showed the guy. He was a Mexican guy that did the stabbing, but was there a connection? Was he, like, this is what the internet is saying. This is what people are on here in the comment section theorizing on, right? So, you know, the internet's always going to get to the bottom of it, but yeah, I'm gonna definitely follow up on this story as they update, and it's gonna be real interesting, guys. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think, what's your theory on all of this? Does this make sense? Does what the bodyguard is saying make sense to y'all? I'm definitely curious to know. But yeah, leave your comments down below. All right.